So let's summarize the game against Cape Verde. You saw the game, 1-1 full time. We were, just avoid defeat, and we are into the playoffs. For
Yeah.
Cape Verde, it was win or nothing.
Yeah.
But for the Super Eagles, avoid defeat, and we're into the playoff. At the end of the day, we got the result that propelled us into the playoff. But the performance wasn't. A lot of fans were not happy with the performance. But it seems some people are putting performance over result now. But what do you make of that game? And is it the result for you, or is it, how would you rate the performance of the Super Eagles at the end of it? It was tensed in the stadium. I was in the stadium. I could hear the fans. It was especially that at the dying stages of the game there was a chance for Cape Verde, and I think it was Ndidi that that blocked that shot. It was actually going on target, but it was just a straight leg from Ndidi that just took the shot off. But what do you make of the game in general, the result? We into the playoffs, and what do you make of the performance for the Super Eagles?
Well, it was the only time since Gernot Rohr came that we were in a nervous situation. We've always scaled through qualification with a game or two to spare. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'll say that complacency sets in with Gernot Rohr. I mean, you could also blame Gernot Rohr somehow, because we find ourselves in stronger group, and we went through it like hot knife through butter. And then we came into this group that is very, very weak. The Super Eagles start regressing from the Sierra Leonean game, where we took a 4-goal first half lead, and then it ended 4-4. From that point, Gernot Rohr did not have an answer to the team. From that point, Gernot Rohr started looking for other players. I remember interviewing him after that game, and he said something about, children, these players are children, they don't have the maturity, the experience to manage a game. If you had other experienced players, they would have done better. It got into their head. From that moment, Gernot Rohr started looking for other players. And once he started looking for other players, you remember before the Sierra Leone game, he said his team is full. There's nobody that's going to come in. There was no room for Taiwo Awoniyi. There was no room for this. That was his stand. After that game, he changed his position, and he opened the list again. And then anybody could come in and go. And then some players were not even interested. Ebere Chieze was not interested in coming in. Michael Olise and his agent were doing their drama. All of those things happened. So from that moment against Sierra Leone was when Gernot Rohr took his eyes off the ball. Because when he first came, let's be very honest, when he first came, there was hunger, there was desire. The team was going to go somewhere. But then Nigeria as a country, let me tell you one thing about this country that amazes me, and I can back it up with history. Yakubu Aiyegbeni had saved Nigeria a lot of times. Missed one World Cup chance against Korea, and everybody forgot all of the things that he's done. Gernot Rohr started with the World Cup in 2018. The fact that I didn't make the expected substitution against Argentina that most Nigerians needed, at the back of the heart of Nigerians, there was this unforgiveness towards him that they were going to always punish him for, because it was more like this was the Argentine team that we have a chance to beat for once in the World Cup, and you didn't make the substitution. That's why we didn't beat them. We could have won and moved to the next round, but it was because of you. So Nigerians had never gotten past that. Even when we went to the Nations Cup, knowing fully well we're not played in back-to-back Nations Cup, and we went on the way to win bronze. This is the first coach that won bronze at the Nations Cup and treated like he got knocked out on the group stage, because people expected more and were looking for fourth. So as he kept going forward, we were one bad game away from tearing him to shred. Once that Sierra Leone game happened, Nigerians just said, we said it. They didn't have real substance to hold him. First, it started with he's hanging out with too many girls. He have girlfriends. He's sharing girls with NFF officials. That was the first crisis that came out. Remember after the Nations Cup, where we came back with bronze, they said that it was one Tracy girl that he was dating that gave the team bad luck. Nigerian sporting press can cook up anything. And then that passed, and then we got to that Sierra Leone game, and then they said, the team does not have pattern. We're not playing with wingers. We're not doing this. All of a sudden, Nigerian players became the best in the world. Paul Onuachu, Simi Nwankwo, all of the players that ordinarily would not even make it into Enyimba first 11 became world best player, became better than Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi. We became odds-on favorite to win the Nations Cup and go on to win the World Cup in the eyes of the Nigerian football press. And then those press now fed the fans obsessively that they start seeing Super Eagles in the light of what they are not seeing. They are not supposed to be. I've heard people say things like Victor Osimhen can win the Ballon d'Or, and I was like, somebody that cannot win Africa's Baller of the Year. will win the Ballon d'Or.
Better than Mbappe.
He's better than Mbappe. He's better than Haaland. He's better than Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lewandowski. All of a sudden, African Footballer of the Year is not even on the list. Like, nobody's talking about him when you see people like Mo Salah, Idrissa Gueye, Frank Kessie, and the rest of them. People mention those names. You're mentioning those because that's what the Nigerian sporting press have fed the fans, and that's what the fans began to see. They started seeing our players like they are the greatest. Oh, all of a sudden, Leo Balogun went a season unbeaten in Scotland, so it means that he's the greatest defender of all time. Joe Aribo should walk into any team. We're seeing Alex Iwobi play rubbish for Everton week in, week out, but we think that is the greatest thing since sliced bread. So the coach couldn't handle it. And then another part where Gernot Rohr lost it completely, because we must state this, is the fact that his team lacked discipline. That's those zero.
I was coming to that.
There was zero discipline in the Super Eagles, and it's not a Gernot Rohr thing per se, but he absorbed them too much. It was being too much of a father. There was only one time where I saw him wield the stick, but then when he did wield the stick, we lost the game. Maduka Okoye came late to the camp, and he showed, okay, this is the reason why you will not start the game against Central African Republic. We lost the game, and then he came back to it to say start. People started saying that. He didn't say start, if I not lose the game or if I control the defense. Then we went away and it started and we won. So all of those things showed you that it was really not, it wasn't one of the most loved, as appreciated. When some of the top journalists who have like stronghold on opinion begin to call him name, begin to say things, it was terrible. So overall, this qualifiers was not good in terms of play. But
3 home games, 1 draw, 1 loss, 1 defeat.
To me, I put result over aesthetics because nobody will remember aesthetics. We went to the Nations Cup in '94, we won it. We're not really the most flamboyant team. We're not really the most beautiful team in that tournament. But guess what? We won the Nations Cup, and everybody's done. Nobody cares about whether we play well. In 2013, we didn't start the tournament well. First 3 games were horrible. And then we beat Cote d'Ivoire, we beat Mali, and then we huffed and puffed and won against Burkina Faso in the finals. And we're fine. We're a better team. Nobody cares. We're 15 minutes away from group elimination. 15 minutes away before Victor Moses scored those 2 penalties. But hey, who cares about all that statistics that I'm really not? We were champions of the 2013 Africa Cup of Nations. That's the way it works. So sometimes when people come with this whole aesthetics team, we don't play well, we play well. I wonder where they're really going to.
You are listening to Elegbete TV Radio.